Out on WRMN. It's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410. On WRMN, it's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
And we are back to Deano's Night Out right here at WRMN Studio 14. In here live. Just as a quick reminder, reminding everybody that our show is brought to you every week from 2 to 4 by Ron Onesti of the Arcata Theater, oshows.com. Today we have a real special guest in the studio, and that guy is right there, right next to me, and his name is Tom Holbrook. Tom, how you doing today?
Hey, that's me.
Hey, that's me. God, I remember hearing that growing up.
We had Ron Onesti out at the location that was set up for the collector's call shoot over at the Responsive Mailroom. We utilized the conference room there. That was a 16 by room, and it really made things look packed for the Zoom call for the producers for the collector's call show. And I think that really helped nail it. And I am anticipating to tease them with the new location, and I don't think they've ever done a revisit, but maybe they will. Wouldn't that be something special?
Wouldn't that be sharp?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You'll have everything laid out just the way you want it.
We've got a number of pieces that we have a number of pieces that were not able to be displayed, which will add to the overall.
Still have that
display.
Animated unit.
Oh, now you see, you're giving up the goods there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Made in Illinois here.
Right.
And the company, Penn & Gerber and Associates, they were responsible for making a lot of animations for the windows and mall displays throughout the Chicagoland area. And they created this life-size animatronic Bozo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that in operation. I bet you too.
I'll be honest with you, it does work, but it's got these motors in it that are like, so it's not the most pleasant thing to listen to. And because of its age, being like 50 years old, I'm always kind of like, well, it was literally an old-fashioned mannequin that they opened up the back in and fit these motors into it.
Well, if you
it was old school.
The Marshall Fields,
that's the stuff
down State Street.
They
how
made
they
the
used
stuff
to have that.
Yeah, the animals spinning
years
around.
ago, this was an animated thing where the arms went up and down.
Yep.
That was full animation, as opposed to what they have today, right?
And Penn & Gerber was one of the companies that was responsible for creating that material visually for everybody.
A lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
65 years, a lot of things have happened in 65 years.
In the Chicagoland area, it was a big marketplace for the character, but in other parts of the country, it was big as well.
Right.
And a lot of people may not know that Bob Bell, who is probably one of the most popular Bozo actors in the country because the station went cable wide in the 80s, did not like to do personal appearances. And here we got a photograph from around 1965 featuring one of the actors that worked for the Al DeVorn and Vincent Georgi agency making an appearance. Here's a personal appearance. You can see Bozo in the crowd there, surrounded by thousands of people. They came out like it was Beatles or Elvis, you know. And if you look real close, I like to joke about this. If you look real close, you'll see Jake or Elwood right here.
Yeah, there is with that top hat. He was a security probably.
Yeah, he probably was. Yeah. And so one of these costumes, a costume that this actor is wearing, making an appearance and seeing the fans.
Now, would that be the blue or the red?
That would have been a red costume.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know, this would have been a red costume.
It photographed better with the black and white pictures.
And then later on, Al DeVorn and Vincent Georgi, they started using the blue costumes for their actors and such. And these shoes were worn by one of the appearance actors here in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate. I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to just lift up the higher power. But I've been very fortunate with the people that the universe and the higher power have put on my path in order to find things and acquire things and for opportunities and things like that, because it doesn't come together as a one-man show. It really does not. And when I wrote the Bozo Chronicles and published it back in 2010, on the cover it says, by Tom Holbrook and Friends. And I thought it was very important within that book to pay tribute to the actors as well as the musicians and voice actors and the artists and everybody who was involved. I had a unique opportunity to interview Uan Rassi, who was a trumpet player for the Billy May Band, and June Foray, who was a voice actress for cartoons, known better as Grandma with Tweety and Grandma's Adventures, or Natasha Bonaparte, or the ever popular Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
Oh, sure.
Oh, she was just beautiful and wonderful. And she allowed me to interview her, and her information and her career is noted within the Bozo Chronicles.
And you've saved these on digital formats.
Oh, it's interesting. We most of the times either I had a phone interview or I sent a letter and they answered the questions and they sent the letter back. And I had a forethought when I was creating the Bozo Chronicles to create photo montages. And I would send 30 photo montages to the person I interviewed, and they graciously signed them. So there's an opportunity and an idea that I had to publish a copy of the Bozo Chronicles in hardback. And in that hardback, you would receive original vintage paraphernalia, paper items or something, as well as the signed photo montages. And you would receive about 15 to 17 photo montages signed by the likes of Alan Livingston, the creator of Bozo, signed by Uan Rassi, signed by William George, who was an artist on some of the Capitol Records products and such. And another unique story, and again, don't take me as bragging, folks. I'm just sharing how this came together. It's been a unique experience. A friend of mine, he's passed away. Most of the people have passed away, unfortunately, and I've been very fortunate to be able to speak with them and receive from them. And a couple of people that come to mind, one is Fred Rice, who was a artist at Capitol Records, involved with a lot of the advertising and other things like album illustrations and product design and such like that. Well, when he left Capitol in the 60s, he was able to take his files with him.
Oh, nice.
And I had heard about him quite a bit, and he had heard about me quite a bit. And one day we got together on the phone, and we're talking, and I'm sharing my dream and my desire. And a week or so later, a couple of boxes of material show up.
Nice?
And in that material, you'll see in the article, there's a wonderful shot of a mask, a paper mask. And Fred Rice had illustrated that paper mask. And initially, I think or maybe it's online. It must be on the online one. But you go online, you can see it. And initially, it was a display that he had created for Capitol Records. And then he got the idea to turn it into a paper mask, and they gave out thousands of these paper masks.
With the stick where they
No stick. You'd hold it up and it had the eyes that you could, open up, and so they could see through it. And then I have, again, the candid photographs are wonderful. A friend of mine, he's passed on. His name was Jack McGuire. In the summer of 1949, he was in Monmouth, Illinois, attending college in the theatrical department. He went on later to be in the service and in broadcasting, and he finished up his career as a podcaster for travel logs.
Right.
And so he had on his blog a photograph of Bozo the Clown surrounded by a bunch of kids, and some of them had the paper masks in their hands. So I pursued Jack McGuire, and I had to do a lot of backwards engineering in regards to my research. Come to find out, he lived in Wheaton, Illinois. And his wife, who uniquely is named Jill, Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill, sure.
She responded to my phone call. I had a chance to interview Mr. McGuire, and he, too, signed the photo montages for me. And so I pay tribute to his career, like I did in the Bozo Chronicles. I pay tribute to the people's careers and what they've done with Bozo. So each person gets 3 or 4 pages, and it's just not their Bozo work or their work with Capital. It's about their careers. And you'd be surprised. A lot of them had broadcasting careers, if they were actors or voice actors or something like that.
Right. Well, there's so much that went into the Bozo.
Oh, the Bozo Chronicles.
Production
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pulling up right now the Chronicles.
The cover.
Yeah. And I just got Matt to come in here, so this
Matt's
way I can
awesome.
click on each of the ones because
He's
I'm
the
not
wizard
as good at
of the
it.
control-a-phone there.
Yeah, there we go. So here's what we've done now. Pulling up the Chronicles.
You're adding to the story.
Those of you watching the
That's the
YouTube.
Bozo Chronicles.
So here we have.
That's what the mask looked like.
That was the mask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you look at this image, this is what Capitol Records finalized as Bozo the Clown's look.
Okay.
And
again, Capitol Records was before 1960.
yes, the character changed dramatically around 1957 when Larry Harmon acquired the licensing rights, he and his partners. And Harmon changed the hair a little bit, even though the hair was winging out. Oh, there's a handsome guy with a bunch of Bozo stuff. I wonder who he is. I got to meet that guy.
He's a real Bozo.
And if you look at that image on the Bozo Chronicles, that's actually an image of the world-famous circus clown, Lou Jacobs.
Okay.
And Lou Jacobs was the only living human being with his face on a postage stamp. But they didn't know that he was real and he was live. But if you were to take an image from 1938, a Life magazine photograph from 1938, and lightbox it over that image there, it's pretty much line for line.
Gotcha.
But they changed the colors so they could get away with it. And I heard tell for years Lou Jacobs had one of the paper masks on the inside of his circus trunk. See, that's what the character looked like back in the day.
Those are the ones I'm
Those are
talking
those
about.
rag
They're
dolls,
on the creepier side, but
well,
if you want to call it creepy.
yeah, and you could see that he had the red eyebrows and the big garish smile,
Yes.
and there's Harmon's book. Okay. Interesting. Here's a story. I love sharing this. I knew Harmon was working on a book because I knew him and I had worked for him. That book right there and my book, the covers are similar. That was happenstance. Neither one of us knew what was entailed. In fact, he wasn't involved with I don't think he was too much involved with the design of the cover because he had already passed away when his book was published.
Okay.
In 2010. My book came out just before his, and interestingly that we split the cover kind of like that, you know. If you took,
you should have made a compromise. You take the left side, he takes the right.
Well,
side.
that's what happened. He got the right side there, and mine was on the left side. Actually, I had spent time with Mr. Harmon working, and there's a Bozo from Baltimore.
That's a rough looking Bozo.
Yeah, well, every studio, there's Joey Dioria out of makeup, and there's a wonderful painting that we have by Conrad Hack in the background there. And if you look on the side, you'll see a bunch of illustrations from various newspapers from the editorial page and such. Oh, yeah, Bozo approved. So I'm getting off on a tangent here, which I can always do.
That's okay. I'm just trying to bring, these are from the Chronicles.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got them all focused in just right.
There's Dream Along with Bozo.
I'm doing something wrong here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Matt will help you.
Yeah. My guy's in the office here.
Just scroll
Oh, there's
down.
what I did.
That's a very. We're going to have that on in the bedroom, on the bedroom wall. Dream Along with Bozo. We're going to put that record cover on the wall there.
And
Just to tie it in.
Bozo, I noticed it on his gloves here. His logo, his name Bozo on all the gloves. Like on WGN, I don't recall.
Bob never had a letter or the name on the
I don't
cuff.
recall seeing it. Okay.
Joey had a B,
Okay.
And they're
Yeah, I do remember somebody having a bee.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Joey had a bee on his. Here's a picture of Joey here.
Yeah.
And the other television personas is Joey. He's a wonderful looking Bozo the Clown actor. He portrayed Bozo from 1984 or so till the end of the show in 2001. And when he was working the Bozo Ball, I got to wear his tuxedo costume and
really?
everything like that when I started working the Bozo Ball. And he's a wonderful man. And the differences in the character cuffs, some of the costumes were made for that specific actor, or they acquired an official Larry Harmon costume.
I got you.
And
they wanted to put their own little flair. I would imagine.
but that was something that Harmon did not mind at first. Yeah, that is Dick Richards. You'll see that he's from the
Columbus?
no, Michigan. He's up in Michigan.
I see COL on
He's
it.
oh, that's probably from a game or something.
Oh, okay.
But he has the Bozo name on his cuffs, and Dick,
there they are.
Dick Richards was the second Bozo up there. The first one was Mr. Merchant. He was the first Bozo up there. But they had the cuff on there. And that's a traditional Larry Harmon costume with a red sash and everything. And if you look on the internet, folks, you'll see a lot of fun images of Bozo from various parts of the country. And in the Bozeum, we have images of Bozos from all around the countries, as well as from Thailand and France and other parts of the world. Bozo is very popular in Germany, France, Japan, especially in Brazil. Very much so in Brazil.
Okay, and here's another neat picture.
That's Mr. Larry Harmon running for president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's dressed as Bozo. He's a write-in candidate. That was back in the 80s or 90s.
This is the picture here in
Yeah.
the center that I always remember Bozo.
Yeah.
And I think most people do.
You know, WGN never used that image.
Really?
No. They had the image that I showed you with the megaphones or the images or the buttons themselves. That's a really hard piece to find here. Let me show you the other images. Now, put the article here. Here's a giveaway that WGN had featuring the red costume. It's called a Do Funny, a little punch-out piece that kids would have put together, and then they would have moved the paper, and it would look like Bozo's hitting the drum. But here you'll see some of the beige button. The blue button was first, and the beige button, and those are the kind of the paraphernalia that they gave away. I didn't bring with me the WGN buttons that everybody is so fond of that had Cookie and Ringmaster Ned and Bob Trendler and all the other characters and such. There's one individual that I hope to go see this week, a friend of mine, and his name is Dick Lubers. He's the last remaining cast member for the Chicago show. We had him at the library event, and he's a wonderful man, and here's
another early Bozo.
Oh, that's Pinto Kovic. If you guys are watching online, you'll see Pinto Kovic. That was taken around 1948.
Capitol Records, of course.
Capitol Records, yep. And you see he's got Bozo on there.
He's got him on his cuffs.
Yeah, and if you can scroll up a little bit with the picture, you'll see that there's a little hat there. Pinto Kovic was the only Bozo actor that wore a hat.
The sailor hat.
Yeah, he's the only one that wore a hat.
Is that amazing?
So they featured the hat on.
Now these are all, anybody can see these if you go to the Bozo Chronicles.
Now some of these images are not mine that you're pulling up from the internet, but I do have them in the original format in the Bozeum, either collected in postcards or from newspaper articles. That's the kind of material I'm looking for. I'm looking for postcards, photographs.
Here's my guys.
Bob Bell and Roy Brown, Bozo and Cookie
made the funniest skits that anybody did. I mean, these guys were hilarious together. And then even brought, what was the other guy?
You had Old Oliver, who was Ray Rayner.
Not Oliver.
You had Don Sandberg as Sandy the Clown.
And he was the quiet, he didn't talk.
He actually did talk, but he wasn't mic'd.
Right.
And you didn't hear him.
Okay.
And
but when these
then you had Wizzo.
Going,
you had Wizzo, Marshall Brodeen. Yeah.
How about, let me put him up there for you. There's
the Marshall Brodeen as Wizzo.
But you're now the older of the rights too.
Well, I actually, the family retains the rights. I just have the rights to utilize the character for fundraising and for marketing and for advertising and just to make sure that they're continuing the legacy. Marshall Brodeen Jr. is out there doing magic shows, continuing his father's legacy.
Does he dress up as...
He has at times, but the persona-wise, it's me. Yeah, is that picture that you had?
And I'll
when
be
we were
honest with you, I've seen nobody do it as good as you.
Oh, that's very kind
You
of
really
you.
are.
I like to copy all the mannerisms that Marshall had.
Yeah, you had them.
I like to do that. Wait a minute, I don't understand.
Yeah, well, this one here, though, this picture, these are the ones that remind me of, the
fun.
The sets falling back and the backdrop and
Remember the
just
fun.
the laughing. It could even
Let it rip.
Couldn't even get the words out sometimes. And in this picture here,
Let me see what you're showing
I
here.
think this one is probably.
You're making this fun, Mr. Dean.
Well, you know what? These are all of our times. It's not just your times. You're bringing it to a beautiful, neat new level. So how you like that?
Oh,
That's the ones that I remember too.
Again with the red costumes. So
And
this
that's
would have been in
Sandy,
the early years
and
on the right. Yeah.
And Ray Rayner.
Ray Rayner. Yep. Oliver.
The only one
Oliver.
that's missing is Cookie.
He wasn't on the show yet.
Oh, okay.
See, when Ray left and Don was retiring,
Okay.
they gave Roy a chance to audition. It was a live audition. He was also auditioning with another actor who portrayed a character called Elrod T. Potter.
Okay.
And that character, the name of the actor is eluding me at this time. I apologize. You got me. He was a bozo actor like in Iowa. And then he left that show and he came to Chicago for the casting call. And he and Roy Neil Tobin, he was the actor.
What year would this be?
This would have been, probably 80s or 90s or so. You know that Bob continued the show till, it couldn't be the 90s. Had to be the 80s because Bob retired in 83, 84. Does it have a date on there?
Yeah, it was from a broadcast of 9/10 of 1979.
Yeah, so that's the 70s.
Show off Matt.
Yeah, now they changed the set quite a bit. Now there are some people out there like my friend Mark.
Everybody thinks this is easy. I tell you
It's not easy to remember this stuff.
No, I'm not talking that. I mean, running all these screens and everything going on, you think I'm a genius, but I'm not. I got Matt
We
on
appreciate
the side,
Matt,
Dennis. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Thank goodness.
And you narrating all this stuff. Yeah, this is really something.
Yeah. They changed the set quite a number of times. Here's a sad story.
I don't want to hear it.
They showed a picture of some props on Facebook, one of the pages, and they said, "Oh, I wonder what happened to that." We always wonder what happened to that stuff. Well, the prop room is only so big.
Sure.
And when the set changes, and it only changed a few times, that material, because it was just looked at as material, was in most cases put in a dumpster.
Oh.
Yeah. So the photographs are all that survive. That's why it's important to archive this material.
And
in some cases with Bozo, I don't know about the show until we find an advertisement.
Well, we're at that bottom of the hour.
Dino's Night Out.
You're going to stick around for the whole
If
thing.
you wish.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind.
So we're going to be back in just a little bit, but we're going to give you a little teaser. That's the Larry Harmon movie from 1992. That's what it says, at least on the
Yeah, it's a
highlights
cartoon
there.
package.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we come back, we're going to be back here with Mr. He's also Rizzo, and he's got such a collection with the Bozeum. You're going to want to come back and see a little bit some more. We are going through from 1960, 1946. We're hitting them all. So please, stay with us. Come back in just a little bit and join us for another segment, another half hour to go. Deano's Night Out right here, WRMN 1410.
It's the talk of the town. So come on and listen now.
Hey, you're right. You're back, or we're back. We're all back. WRMN 1410, Deano's Night Out, right here each and every Friday from 2 to 4. So we got Mr. Holbrook in the office, and he was telling us all about everything, anything Bozo related. So glad to have him in. So we just want to reintroduce you, Tom, because that's what we do. Say hi to everybody.
Well, good morning, WRMN. I know some of you are thinking it's afternoon, but it's probably morning for some of you as
A
well.
lot of people it could be.
Yeah, I'm very happy for this opportunity. Thank you, Deano. I appreciate the WRMN audience. And
Glad that you came in today. I can't begin to tell you.
I hope we're not boring anybody out there talking about something from 60
all
years
they got to
ago.
do is call on the phone and say, hey,
I would love to talk to anybody about Bozo.
I'm going to put on something on the screen that we were talking about. And let me find the screenshot. There we go. Now, that first costume, that's the one that you said that was your audition costume that you made?
That was a costume that I made in the late 80s, and I wore to Halloween costume contests. And oddly enough, I'm not bragging, I won 99.9% of the time. I won.
like that.
Everyone was like,
Now,
oh my
I'm
God.
seeing the other one. What's that red one next to it? Is that a legit one?
That's a legit costume that was worn by an actor that portrayed Bozo the Clown for personal appearances in the Chicagoland marketplace.
It appears like there's only a B on the cuff.
No, that actually says Bozo.
Does it say
Yeah,
Bozo?
yeah.
And what about that blue one?
That blue
from
one,
Pinto?
that is an official Larry Harmon costume.
Larry Harmon.
Yeah, and so is the next one there. It's probably Frank Avrush's costume.
With the white collar.
Well, it's bluish. Yeah, a lighter blue.
Oh, okay.
And that was more than likely worn, well, I know it was, if I could identify it. It was worn by Frank Avrush out of Boston. He was a very popular Bozo. And in fact, those are his wigs right there.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, those wigs are Frank Avrush's wigs.
Now, they weren't quite as red as the Bozo of
A
Chicago.
little bit different, yeah. Joey's wigs and Bob's wigs. Everybody had their, Bob Bell's wigs were made by a different person. In a lot of cases, the studios received their materials from Larry Harmon. In Chicago, they had their own costumes made, they had their own wigs made, and things like that.
Yeah.
And in fact, you'll see that Bob's nose is different. You know, I had that image earlier,
Oh, okay.
and the nose is kind of flat on the sides. And I'm not precisely why they did that. Maybe for a visual.
Fitting.
Yeah, fitting.
Staying
But
out.
it was made out of balsa wood, and
Oh, really? It's made of wood?
yeah, I worn it. I actually made my own Bozo noses when I was portraying Bozo for the Bozo Ball. And
So how did they
everything.
stay on you?
Oh, it's.
I mean, you got a good-sized honker to start with.
Yeah, I know it's grown bigger as we
Not like
get-
I should talk.
I see pictures of me. I'm like, my nose is getting bigger, and so it's strung with catgut into an elastic band that goes around your head. Yeah.
All right, so you don't see it with the makeup.
No, well, you can, but you don't. You know.
Okay. Well, which one is it? You can or you can't?
Well, it depends on the lighting.
Okay.
You know, in a lot of cases, like if
I'm
you
only,
got close to
I'm only playing.
if you got close to Bob Bell, you would have seen the catgut.
So you went in our break and you got a few more cool things that we want to show.
Yeah, I brought with me. We were talking about Frank Avrush there, and his show was very popular in Boston, and it had a fairly large production and a good group of kids, and they had Bozo's Treasure Box, and they didn't have the grand prize game.
Okay.
They did all kinds of other different relay games and activity games. The grand prize game was developed by Don Sandberg for the Chicago marketplace, and anything that was developed for the TV shows basically became Larry Harmon property
Okay.
because of the contracts. And so
Now, I think GN still has the actual
the
spindle.
postcard
Yeah.
drum. They
Is
have
that
a
a fact?
version of it that was redone. That was redone or remade a couple of times throughout the 40 years that the show
I would
was on.
imagine all the
Yeah.
use.
Yeah, and at
There's nothing. I can't imagine anything that was original would still be in use today. Just take
there's
going all the way down
like that
to
drum,
46.
the drum that you showed with
Yeah.
a cookie in front of it. Look, that's still there.
They do have that one,
Yeah, they still
okay.
have that at the Broadcast Museum when they reopen.
Okay.
And there's a few other prop items or staging items that are still available. Some things have been painted over and changed, and like Rich Coase, God bless him, he's a wonderful man, wonderful performer, better known as Svengoolie,
Right.
originally known as the son of Svengoolie. He started out as a writer for Jerry G. Bishop, and when he assumed the moniker of Svengoolie, he got the original casket that Jerry G. Bishop used.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, you know what happens? You want to change the set a little bit. You want to up it a little bit, make it more you. They painted over it.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's interesting,
just stuff.
People don't realize, if they've ever been to the WRMN studios here,
Gotta love it.
we do the toy drive for Toys for Tots, which will be coming up soon.
Please participate.
That
people.
cart that's here, my father was a commercial artist. So that's the actual cart of the Doublemint twins stood in front of Wrigley Spearmint Gum. Was out of Wrigley Building right here in Chicago. When they were tearing that place and demoing it, I used to do that work before. We got the contract. I opened up this box, and this is the actual cart.
Wow.
That the Doublemint twins, you see it by the a swimming pool one time. You see it.
We'll have to find some of the advertisements and put it with it.
But the point that I'm bringing up, not so much about the Wrigley or Doublemint twins, was the fact that the paints that they used most of the time were a flat paint because of the lights of the cameras. It wouldn't catch it properly. So, if you put too much glossy paints, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I could imagine some of the things like you're saying have been painted over. It looks like heck in person, but on camera, it gave a different image.
That's where I got into the retentiveness that I have when I was painting the decor on the walls at the museum here.
Right.
And I'm looking at old pictures. I don't want it to copy it. I just want it to have a remembering feel that people, okay, they can associate with it because it looks the part.
Right.
And keeping the lines absolutely tight and sharp is near, it's hard. Challenging, very challenging. So I was like, you know what? It's never going to be perfect. As long as it looks good, people are going to be happy. And when you went to the television studios, you would see the flaws that the camera does not pick up. A little secret, a lot of people may not know. Wonderful, wonderful show. We watched it every Sunday, Family Classics.
Right.
Now, I went there with my high school choir, and we sang at the studio for Christmas. And that set was there, with the Roy Brown painting of Gar over the chair, which is absolutely gorgeous. And we have a poster print of that in the museum. And the books that says Moby Dick and...
they're wooden.
No, they're not wooden.
What are they?
They're gorgeously painted on the cover and on the spine. Encyclopedias.
Oh, no kidding.
I was heartbroken.
Well, so they're all the same
I was
size.
thinking I was looking at Mutiny on the Bounty, and I was like, oh my gosh, no.
But they were actual books in
they're
a
actual
bookshelf.
books.
Yeah, neat.
Books, yeah.
Yeah, and like you say, you don't see all the
Television.
the dings and scratches because, you're talking back then an era of, I imagine the unions are
Low-res television, too.
Number one. Yeah. But number two, you had, union workers. All right, slide in stage 2. Get out stage 4.
That's a good point.
And these guys are banging things into the walls because they're in a hurry. A lot of the sets were on casters.
Yes, they were.
And it was like, well, we got to get this in and out. I did a little research myself as well. And, there's so much to that people don't realize. And sometimes how many times you think the chair is that perfect chair, but a whole hunk of wood got chipped off. So they'll put a little
gaffer's
styrofoam and even the gaffer's tape and paint it. And, brown is brown on the air and with the low res. But today, if you look at the high resolution, even today myself, I wasn't able to shave. My wound has been kind of
healing up good.
Yeah, it's
You're
healing
sounding good.
But it's acting up a little bit. So he said, look, lay off the shaving for a bit. And but if I was to put the camera on me close, and we don't have the high res camera, you'd see just like you watch now.
You're not ready for your close up, Mr. DeVille?
No, not me. No, I don't want it either. That's why I'm showing you more than me. But the idea
I didn't shave either.
It's
I'm
the high
scruffy.
resolution. If you watch GN, CBS, Channel 5, you zoom in on those.
They have special
anchors.
filters on those.
I mean, they
talking
look
heads,
pretty
too.
rough. Like, oh my God, don't you shave when you go to work? Even Larry Potash, the most prim and proper guy of them all. Sometimes you look at him, it's rough.
The
So
lighting,
anyhow,
everything.
I digress. I'm just saying
even
is,
like with
and
Bob
the-
Bell's
and-
nose would be a little chipped up, but you wouldn't see it on the camera.
No.
And they
land
wore
of
that stuff
TV,
5 days a week.
That's the miracle of TV, right? And that's the miracle of
That's
all
one of the
it.
fun things I like to find as well are the studio shots of the shows, and to see what it was like. In the Bozeum, we have what's called the production Bible.
Right.
It's a book that was given to the television stations on how to market the show, how to create the set, how to do everything and anything. The games, everything involved is in that book. It's a magnificent book. And in fact, if you have that, you can basically start your own TV station. And, if you want to take over WRMN and start doing it. Yeah, there you go. But I brought with me some crazy pictures. Here's a image of Willard Scott as Bozo. We mentioned him earlier. Willard Scott is Bozo up in the Washington, D.C. area. I may not remember all the names of the people here. Here's Tom Matzel. It is like in, I want to say, Philadelphia. He was Bozo. Some of the images will look different. To bring it
just a little bit closer.
Okay, my bad.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then we got a couple of other actors here. You see the colorful set here, and these are black and white. These are postcards that may have been signed by Bozo or given away at the show. And sometimes, like with advertisements here, finding an advertisement was the only remnant of the show's history. There wasn't much in regards to articles to be found, and now they are being found, thankfully, and postcards given away. And here we have another individual. He was portraying Bozo the Clown. You can see the set was all garishly painted to look circus-like, and a lot of colors. And
even those little quarter rounds, they still have a few at GN.
Yeah.
Like for the different
for the audience, yeah.
A lot of those have been missing too.
Well, they're missing chips and they're scratched up or whatever, and that's just part of television.
Pictures,
yeah, I got it. There's there we go that way. There's so many different postcards that were given away, and this is my friend Mr. Carmichael. He was Bozo in the '80s.
And one of the things I think you're going to bump into, and you're very fortunate, and I do I like said,
showing this
a lot of cleanouts, and I bumped into a Bozo ceramic. That's how I was asking you: are the eyebrows black or are they supposed to be red?
Well, is this a large one like this?
About that tall.
Okay.
And it's black, and I said, well, I don't remember him being black.
Well,
like on a statue or a picture.
We were literally talking about that a week or two ago on one of the collector's pages on Facebook, because those things show up periodically. And originally, that plaster figure of Bozo was a bank, and it was licensed. It was actually licensed, and the name Bozo is embossed on the base.
I'll have to look to see which one I have.
They made now you can tell. You can tell when the license ran out. They continued to utilize the mold, and carnivals used it, and other places used it, but they changed it. They took the name Bozo off the base. They put pom-poms on the shoes, and they cut little diamonds in the pockets area. And the name Bozo was never on the cuffs originally or anything like that, but on the back of the bank, it said, where you'd pop it out to get the money out, it said Capitol Records. So that's how you can tell that it's a real one.
No, I don't think
they actually offered it here in town, and I have a number of them. There was a little business here in town on Walnut Avenue. It was called Pick and Paint.
Yeah.
And they sold
like Anne's figurines.
Yeah.
And you'd paint it.
Yeah, you took it home and painted it. And so you'll see a lot of strange and I find those intriguing. I haven't collected as many as I'd like to, because people think that they're worth a ton of money. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, you're not going to get $500 for it. No. I'd love to give you $500, but
my point I was trying to get to is we're at a time from the 60s to now, 65 years, where baby boomers are dying off a little bit.
People are leaving.
Family members are going through people's things, and they're like, "Oh, what's this? What's that?" Now is really a good opportunity to probably get the best collection, in my opinion, of memorabilia that you'll
That's
ever
why I'm always
get.
pointing out, we're losing our family members, and the material sometimes gets either passed down or thrown away, unfortunately. And if people do have candid photographs or postcards or articles or something that they saved, even videotapes. I've acquired some studio tapes, which I want to get transferred, and some actual films and such that I need to get transferred. But acquiring that material is a blessing, because if they're not reformatted, they deteriorate, especially VHS tapes.
Exactly.
And so what we're trying to do is archive
the
that
VHS
material.
stresses and the
it
distortion.
falls off. The magnetic stuff falls off the tape. Here's a strange Bozo. I got this not too long ago. I got this not too long ago, and you can see they made their own costume.
Yeah.
But this is legitimately a Bozo actor, and it was found in Illinois, but he was not from the Illinois area. He was the only Bozo that wore glasses in his makeup.
Oh, okay.
He was illegally blind. And here he is again. His name's Ed Whitaker, and here he is wearing a real Bozo costume. But he must have got heavier, and they didn't want to spend the money, so he probably had his wife make that. And here, oh, I love showing this. Here's a picture of my favorite Bozo. Yeah, right there. There I am in 2005 performing at the Rouse Center.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah.
I'll be a son of a gun.
Yeah, that's me in Bozo makeup.
You look just like him.
And above me is Marshall Brodeen and a bunch of other magical performers that were on the variety show. It was a fun time.
Hey, what was it like knowing Marshall Brodeen?
Oh, Marshall was awesome. If you think I have the stories, he had the stories.
But he was like the nowadays Penn and Teller. With
He was
his magic.
so wonderful to every magician. He was always helpful and encouraging. In fact, he and Roy gave me my break in showbiz. I had shown them some videotape. I had some tenacity and some chutzpah, and I showed them some stuff. And they invited,
and you still do for their
oh, that's kind of you. And they invited me out to their condominium. They were living in Roselle at the time, and I showed them some additional stuff. And then they started.
Cookie lived in Roselle.
That's where we're talking about.
Right by Turner Pond.
Yeah, right. That was Marshall's.
Oh, was it?
Roy lived in the garden apartment, and Marshall lived upstairs.
Oh, no kidding. He had that little balcony over there, right?
Yeah. And
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and so I visited Roy there many, 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 many times.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, I believe it was at that apartment where I was dressed as Santa Claus, and I presented the engagement ring to Roy's soon-to-be wife, Mary Lou.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was dressed as Santa, and she had called, and Roy and I were enjoying each other's company, and she's like, "What are you up to, Roy?" And, "Oh, I'm just sitting here with Santa Claus," and she thought maybe Roy had, fallen off the wagon or something, and come to find out, he's like, "I want you to give her the ring for me," and stuff.
Yeah, and that's another thing, you mentioned fall off the wagon, which is a common statement, but these guys were sober and straight as heck when they were doing their
On the show. And afterwards, they went to Maribel's.
Maybe they went out for a drink after, but I'm talking about when they were doing their shows.
They loved it.
Recognizing and realizing they're around children, because I think it was Mr. Bell, the one, Bob Bell. He was the one that spoke of that. And it was at the Medina Temple when they had an interview with him. And he would say, look, he says, nothing is more, beholding to us as the children. He says, I didn't even like them to see me getting dressed.
Or partially.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm Bozo or I'm Bob Bell.
Yep.
I'm one or the other.
You never saw him without the collar on. Yeah,
right.
He was always and that's the way he felt, as the character should stay in the circus, and that's why the agency with Al Dvorin and Vincent Georgi had the appearance actors going out and doing things. Now there's a number of pictures to validate all that, and the weird thing is the TV cast members, be it Sandy or Ned or Ray or anybody like that, they never appeared with the Vincent Georgi Bozos. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. Yeah, here's a couple more pictures. Yeah, some of the costumes were the same, some of the hair was the same, but the makeups are always a little bit different. Oh,
here's a nice Bozo there.
Yeah, this is Mr. Larry Harmon, dressed up as Bozo the Clown. He never had his own television show as Bozo, but he did visit some Bozo TV show sets and take pictures of himself in makeup. He's the one that created the red sash costume and the wildly winged out hair.
Gotcha.
And the tighter costume with the bell bottoms. Here's an image of my friend David Eaton. He portrayed Bozo in the Ohio area in the late 60s. Yeah, he was a friend of mine. He's still with us. He's almost 90.
And again, that's the blue uniform.
Yeah, blue costume.
And he's got like that Spanish sash around it.
Oh, yeah, red sash.
But
yeah.
I don't recall the others having.
Chicago never wore it.
No,
never wore that.
But if you look at the top of them, it looks like a Chicago Bozo.
Well, the collar is reminiscent, yeah. In fact, you see some early pictures. You'll come to the Bozeum, you'll see some early pictures of how Bob's costume changed over the years.
You always make transitions, sure.
Yeah, I always make transitions. Oh, there's so many pictures I could share. If you went to the show, in some locations, you got a Bozo name tag sticker.
I'll be darned.
And WGN did not have these. They had Bozo buttons and things. And in Boston, they had Bozo hats. And in Baltimore, they had
Well,
Bozo
you
hats.
showed the one thing was a megaphone.
Oh, yeah, from Chicago. Yeah,
was Chicago.
That was a very short-lived piece.
Okay.
Maybe because of production or the kids were just too loud when they got them.
Okay.
You know?
More hard to put together.
Yeah. Here's Milt Corey as Bozo the Clown. He's riding a little bicycle
And
there.
where was he from, Milt Corey?
Oh, you got me there. I'll have to look that up. I can't remember them all. There's so many. I apologize. And then here's Art Servey. Art Servey was Bozo in Detroit. And you see that? And he's wearing the traditional costume. And I like to find the photographs that show the set.
Right.
And the cameras and the audience peanut gallery and everything. Here's my friend Brett Eitman. Brett Eitman is a comedic and movie actor. And he was Bozo just before I was.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. And we did Toys R Us appearances and all kinds of such. And we were both offered the same gig that never came to fruition. And he was a lot of fun.
I'm showing Mort Corey.
Milt Corey.
Milton.
Milt Corey.
Milton Corey, Hollywood, Florida, maybe?
Milton Corey just recently passed in 2013.
Yes, I'm looking at the obituary.
Here's Milton Corey right here. Milton Corey is Bozo the Clown. Yeah. He is one actor that I was not able to find because he lived in a senior center.
Wow.
And
there's a picture of him.
Yeah,
he's passed.
Yep.
That's his obituary.
And he never told his friends that he was Bozo up until like his last year or so, 2 years of life.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's been a lot. Oh, I got something else I'd like to show you.
Please do.
Well,
we're running out of time. We're in our last couple of months.
Oh, are we? We were talking about Frank Avrush, and we were talking about some of the players. One of the early performers on the show was a man by the name of Ed Spinney. He later went with his real name. Maybe his name was Carol Ed Spinney, but then he went by Ed early on. And Carol Spinney, when he was working on the show, was a puppeteer and numerous other characters like the boxing kangaroo or Patches, the Raggedy Ann kind of character. But when we come back, I'll show you this wonderful puppet that Carol Spinney and his mom made for the Boston show back in the 1960s.
Well, listen, Tom, you're going to have to come back on another day.
You got that right.
Because a political talk show is on right after this. You have enlightened us.
It's been a wonderful opportunity.
Oh, my God.
WRMN.
You have enlightened our listeners with so many great things.
I hope they didn't tune off.
No, we've got everybody nice and tight in here. And very much appreciate.
I hope that someone gets a hold of me with some treasures.
You know what? It would be nice. We would be happy to share those with you. Hey, but everybody, you've been listening to WRMN 1410, Deano's Night Out. And again, Tom Holbrook, who's putting together the Bozeum. So you're going to want to catch that, and we're going to make the announcement as soon as we possibly can.
We're looking at November.
That's our date.
I'm shooting for November 8th. I don't want to put it out there, but that's what I'm shooting for. It's a Saturday.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Tom.
You've been a blessing, Dino. Thank you, WRMN.
We'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you.
Stress of daily life behind?